Does saving for your favorite unit mean you can't pull? I disagree. Welcome back to Cocky Gachas, and in this video, I am going to approach the subject of saving for units in reverse 1999 with a slightly altered strategy. Okay, so this is what I would call a strategy because I've seen a lot of people telling me, hey, I need 140 pulls to guarantee 2 fairy, 140 pulls to guarantee for Changling. I don't have enough pulls, so I cannot pull for anything until then, which I truly disagree with, because I do feel that a lot of people don't understand how the PT system works. So in this video, I'm going to offer you an alternative approach, a strategy that you could employ if there is something else that you want, but you also want to save for another unit. So first, we're going to take a look at the common mantra, right, which is to save for 140 pulls. Okay, 140 pulls, because why is that the case? If you take a look at the details, go to Sorter B, for instance, here it does say that the summon rate is 1.5%. Of course, there is, with the guarantee, it's 2.36%. And in this banner, rate of summoning 6-star, you rate up units, takes up 50% of the rate up. If you don't get it in your first 70 pulls, you're definitely going to get it in the next 70 pulls. So 140 pulls to guarantee, because we are all assuming that we are going to miss the 50-50. And in this video, I'm not going to say something like, oh, you're definitely going to get it, right? Just trust yourself, okay? I have no faith in RNGs. So similarly, I'm in a similar boat to you guys, whereby I think it's good to have 440 as a number in mind. But people also are tempted, right? They are always asking, I see people asking, hey, I really like Doggo. Should I really save all my pools for 2 fairy? I already spent so much on the beginner pools on Sorter B, so I don't have enough. I just have enough for 1 2 fairy, 140. I don't have 280. I can't pull Doggo and 2 fairy. To that, I would say that you definitely would find this useful, because in comparison to 1.2, a lot of people value 1.1 much lower. So if you have a low priority banner followed by a high priority banner, this approach is very good for you. And to understand how this approach works, I'm just going to ask you guys a question. So imagine now you are pulling for the 2 fairy in 1.2, correct? So if in the first 70 pulls, you do not get 2 fairy, okay, for instance, you got off banner, you got something like a Leah, or you got something like an Eternity, and then you're going to pull another 70 times to 140. Does the first 70 pulls matter in this case? Right? The answer is probably not. It doesn't matter, because your first 70 pulls, you didn't get 2 fairy, which means that the first 70 pulls could have been put on any of the pickup banners, because the first 70 pulls does carry forward the PT from banner to banner, meaning, right, you can bring it one step forward. Does the first 60 pulls matter? Technically, no. Does the first 50 pull matters? It doesn't matter. First 40 pulls, 30 pulls, 20 pulls, 10 pulls, all of those do not matter, as long as at the end of the day, you put a cumulative 140 pulls, you are going to guarantee to get 2 fairy. So what I'm saying is, just to give you guys a scenario, if now you really want to pull for Millennia or for Pickles, okay, but you think that, oh, this is low priority, my priority is 2 fairy, okay, so what you need to think is, do I have spare pulls? What do I mean by spare pulls? Do you have excess of 140 pulls? If you have excess of 140 pulls, you have 160 pulls, technically 20 pulls is for you to gamble. You can potentially get Millennia plus 2 fairy in 160 pulls or less. Okay, how this works? 1.2 come plus 21 days of the banner, you're going to have 160 pulls. Pull 10 times on the banner of Millennia if you really want Millennia. If you don't get Millennia, pull another time on Millennia. If you don't get her, then sure, it doesn't matter anyways, like I mentioned, right? If you don't get Millennia and then you think that, oh, this is my limit, 160 pull is my max. If I were to pull any more and I get Millennia, potentially I might not have 140 pulls for 2 fairy, then sure, no problem. But what if you're pulling on Millennia banner but you got her on the 20th pull? This means that technically you got a free Millennia for 20 pulls, and now you can still get 2 fairy for 140 pulls if you're super unlucky. Another scenario, if you're pulling for Pickles, but so unluckily, okay, you pull the first 10 times, no Pickles. Second 10 times, oh, I got a 6-star, but it is not Pickles, it is Sorter B. So you got Sorter B, but what does this mean? This means that within 30 pulls, you got a 6-star unit. This means that the next 70 pulls, you are going to definitely get the rate up unit, which is whatever you're saving for instance, 2 fairy. So within 100 pulls, you have gotten both the off-rate banner unit as well as the 2 fairy that you are saving for. And in ideal scenarios, of course, if you can get pickles and 20 pulls, then you get the pickles plus however many pulls that you use to get 2 fairy, which means as a beginner, I see a lot of beginners showing me their box. Everything's empty, no 5-star at all, because they say, I'm saving for 2 fairy, I cannot even touch any banner. I do not agree with that. I think that a lot of times people neglect the fact that you are not always going to go to 140 pulls. Sure, you might get unlucky, sure, you might get super unlucky, but across multiple banners, if you take a look at a 50-50, you're gonna hit 1 or 2 50-50s also. So even if you don't want to use my math as a strict math, you're also going to have a bit of a faith on your luck to say that 50-50s, you're gonna hit it from a probability standpoint if you pull enough times. So this is what I would recommend for people to do if you really want Millennia or Pickles and you're really tempted. But people keep telling you need 140 pulls, so you cannot pull on any of the banners before that. That is untrue. So I also want to show you guys my record as an example, right? Over here, right? You people will have noticed if you go to the record, you can see your previous pulls. You can see I haven't put in a long time since I started the game, and a lot of people might think, oh, I got Sotheby or I got A Knight, which means that my PT is now at 0. That is not the case. You can see here, Sotheby, I got it around here, which means I got it at the start of this 10 pool. So the rest of the 9 pools, these are already counting into my PT, which means I only need 131 pulls. So this is something that you can definitely explore, right? Nothing is hard and fast. You definitely need to go through the loopholes like I do in a lot of times, then you will be able to find your perfect strategy. But of course, if you don't know, come ask me in my Discord channel. Probably a lot of people already know how to answer your question. We will definitely help you out. So this is the first thing. But at this point, a lot of people will also say, hey Cocky, you say that this strategy is very good, I might potentially get this and then get that. But if I just pull everything onto my pickup banner, which is the 2 fairy, then potentially I would be able to get 2 fairy and the second 2 fairy and the third 2 fairy. And that brings me to my second point, which is, are portraits important? Really so good, right? That you have to save up so that you get multiple duplicates of the unit that you have. And to that, I can assure you that I don't think it is necessary at all for 6-star units. Of course, for 5-star units, some of them like Charlie, they are very, very important. And also, we are considering them because they are so much easier to get, right? 8.5% versus 1.5%. It's a no-brainer which one is easier to get, which is also why in my tier list, I do consider portraits only for 5-star. Other than that, anything that you see me rating them, all based on P0, portrait 0. And to substantiate my point, just take a look at a few of these portraits, right? For instance, take at Sotheby, we take a look at P1. It's just 100% extra reality damage. This is a 33% increase. Honestly, I wouldn't say that portraits are the most important. For some units, they have better breakpoints. Like Millennia at P2, you do get a bit more of the Moxie gain when it comes to having 1 extra layer of Skillful Teeth. But even then, is that necessary? I don't think so. So, in my opinion, portraits definitely not required. Unlike other games, there are a lot of methods to upgrade your units in Reverse 1999, and the most important thing is that unlike some of the other games, portraits do not give you raw stats. So this is where I think it is most important, because you can see Insight 3 is free, technically free, you don't have to pull, you only need 1 copy, and then similarly here there are side cubes and stuff. All of this technically come from other factors than portraits, and portraits only play a small part. So this is why I don't think portraits are necessary, and also why I think my strategy, right, of splitting up your pools, right, to aim for 1 copy each is going to be much more effective compared to going all in just to get how many portraits, etc. for a unit that you really want. Now in summary, I think that this strategy is very decent for people with a few extra pools or even trying to gamble a bit. You can probably try out this strategy for sure. And also, end of the day, portraits are not the most important. And notably, if people ask me whether saving is necessary, personally, I think that it really depends on yourself. Don't let people tell you need this, you need that, right? Determine that yourself. And also, even if you miss, there are going to be alternatives, even if you don't have 2 fairy, right? All those people playing in 1.3, they can pull for Black Dwarf, they can pull for Charmaine, they can build different teams, they can use low rarity units, right? Not necessarily you need that 1 unit to play the game. This is my message for everyone. Now, although I mentioned about saving, right? Personally, I am in fact not saving because I will be going all in once the update starts. I'll be live streaming my Millennia pool. So if you're interested, definitely drop by and say hi. I'll see you guys there. This is Cocky Gachas, signing off.